Yeah.
Welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, bringing you some of the best college football news, predictions, and analysis, and continuing our series on the brand new coaching hires going into the 2020 season. And today we're looking at just the second ACC team to have a brand new head coach. That, of course, is the Boston College Eagles, who finally fired Steve Addazio on December 1st after 7 years with the program. And I say finally and stress that because we, for years, have been saying that Steve Addazio is just a mediocre head coach. He could never get over the hump at Boston College. He was just mediocre. He finished 6-6 in 2019, the second time he had done that during his time with the Eagles. He finished 7-5 4 times during his time with the Eagles. So 6 of his 7 seasons were at 6-6 or 7-5. One, of course, I believe was a 3-9 season. He never eclipsed 8 wins. Even the years that we thought Boston College could do it. Schedule was favorable. Defense was solid like it always was. Maybe the offense was going to take a step up with the likes of A.J. Dillon and Anthony Brown the previous few years. Never could get over the hump and get 8 wins. Addazio went 44-44 overall, right at 500 during his time at Boston College. But the kicker is this. He went 22-34 in ACC play and just 1-4 in bowl games. Of course, he could have had a chance to improve or worsen that record, but that game against Boise State a few years ago was postponed and canceled due to weather. So 1-4 in bowl games, a losing record in ACC conference play, just not going to cut it. Especially in an ACC conference that's relatively weak. Outside the likes of Clemson, and in previous years before that, you had Florida State, Miami kind of peaked a little bit. But outside of that, Boston College probably should have had more than 6 or 7 wins during the course of Addazio's career. So he finally gets let go, lands back on his feet, goes to Colorado State, and Boston College is looking for a new coach. Boston College is looking for somebody to come in and really get some energy and some life into this program and finally maybe eclipse 8 wins. Even if that 8th win comes in a bowl game, it'd be better than anything that Addazio is ever able to do. So they bring in Jeff Hafley, a young, defensive-minded coach that last year spent his time at Ohio State coaching one of the best defenses in the entire country. And at 40 years old, Hafley is going to be one of the younger coaches in the entire FBS. Just 40 years old, yet he is one of the more well-traveled coaches in the FBS. The kicker is that he did not coach in college. He did not coach college football. We have stressed for a couple of these brand new coaching hires how important it is for new coaches, or any coach for that matter, to have a little bit of NFL coaching experience. Like if you have that, that automatically gives you a slight edge, maybe than some of your opponents. Already gives you a bit of a recruiting edge because you can say, I've coached in the NFL. I know what it takes. I know what it takes to get you to the next level. I know what coaches are looking for. And you're able to, I think coaching at the next level just improves your college game all the way around. And Hafley has coached in the secondary in the NFL from 2012 to 2018. So about the time he was 31, 32 years old, he was already in the NFL as an assistant head coach with the Buccaneers, the Browns, and the San Francisco 49ers. And in 2013, was tied for 3rd in the NFL with the Buccaneers for 21 interceptions. 21 interceptions in 2013 for the Buccaneers. That was good for tied for 3rd in the entire NFL when it came to interceptions. So he knows how to coach some really good players within the secondary. And we saw that during his time in the NFL. We saw that during his time at Ohio State as well. We mentioned in 2019 he coached the secondary, but also was co-defensive coordinator for the Buckeyes, where Ohio State held opponents to 13.7 points per game, good enough for the 4th best scoring defense in the entire country. He also coached some beasts that are going to be playing at the next level, such as Jordan Fuller, Chase Young, who had 16.5 sacks last year, and then, of course, Jeff Okudah, who is one of the better cornerbacks in the entire country last year and is going to be one of the earlier draft picks in this upcoming NFL draft. So he's coached some beasts in 1 year at Ohio State. You saw how well the defense played at Ohio State. And then he's obviously has some NFL coaching experience where his defenses did not play bad at all during his time there from 2012 to 2018. So let's take a look at the 2020 outlook for Boston College. Jeff Hafley comes in, brand new head coach. He's young. The one kicker that sometimes you have with young head coaches, and you wonder who are they going to come in with their coordinators? Who are they going to bring in as their coordinators? Because, they're experienced. I mean, he's experienced enough, but does he have the reputation and the ability to bring in solid coordinators, surround himself with a solid staff to compete at a high level within a Power 5 conference? And Hafley said, yeah, I do. I have plenty of talent, plenty of capability to bring in solid coordinators. He brings in Frank Cignetti as his offensive coordinator. Some people might not even know who that is, but like Hafley, Cignetti has a lot of NFL coaching experience on the offensive side of the ball. So you've got a head coach that's defensive-minded, and you've got a great offensive-minded coach. Cignetti, coaching quarterbacks for the Packers in 2018. He worked with Aaron Rodgers. Coached quarterbacks for the New York Giants from 16 to 17. Coached Eli Manning. Many might say he's not that good, but I think he's pretty dang good. Had a great career. And then he was the Rams offensive coordinator in 2015, and that's just a few of his stops. Plenty more well before that. So NFL experience across the board on this Boston College coaching staff. When you look at the players that are coming back for Boston College, the biggest one is Dennis Grosel at quarterback. Anthony Brown goes down with an injury last season. Grosel steps in, and I thought did a pretty decent job. Was able to get Boston College to a bowl game. They didn't win it against Cincinnati, but got them there. Their biggest loss, though, is going to be losing A.J. Dillon, the All-American running back. Really was the Boston College offense these past few years. Boston College offense has always really struggled and really could never take off under Steve Addazio. So they lose A.J. Dillon, but they get their quarterback returning. And with a brand new offensive coordinator, one that knows how to coach quarterbacks, one that might be able to get a little more up-tempo offense and make this one a little more explosive, Boston College could be a team to really watch out for. I'm not saying to necessarily compete in the ACC, but maybe a team that could win 6, 7, or maybe 8 games, at least contend for another bowl spot, and that's really all you can hope for with a brand new head coach, and really all you can hope for by Boston College's standards right now. When you look at their notable games on the schedule, I like what Boston College did here. They're not elite by any means. We know that. Boston College went out and scheduled 2 other Power 5 opponents that maybe are not the most elite, but are good enough. Good enough to meet their standards. One of those games is a revenge game against Kansas. The Eagles will travel to face the Jayhawks after Les Miles and his squad came into Boston College last year and annihilated the Eagles. That shocked, I think, the entire nation. While it wasn't one of the biggest upsets of the year, I think Kansas had a 49-game road losing streak against Power 5 opponents and finally snapped that streak against Boston College, a team, once again, that we had very more high expectations for. They do have a home game against Purdue. With a healthy Rondale Moore, it will be interesting to see how Jeff Hafley kind of goes and tries to shut him down. A Purdue team that should have a bounce-back year in 2020 after an injury-plagued year in 2019. And then they do host Clemson and North Carolina. Clemson, of course, the favorite once again to win the ACC. North Carolina, a team under Mack Brown that's recruiting extremely well and returns Sam Howell, who will be one of the better quarterbacks in the entire country. All of the big games for Boston College are at home. Clemson, UNC, I believe they have Louisville as well. 7 home games for the Eagles. The big ones are at home, which is a great opportunity for the Eagles to pull off some upsets and maybe snag a couple of wins here and there that maybe they shouldn't to help them get to bowl eligibility. So if you're an Eagles fan, not only are those games going to be fun to watch, but they're great opportunities for you. So what are we going to grade this hire? What do we give the hire of Jeff Hafley at Boston College? We've given some A's, we've given a lot of B's, 1 D to Eli Drinkwitz at Missouri. And I will say that I was not a fan of this hire at first. When Boston College announced that I agree it was time for Steve Addazio to go, but when they announced that we were taking Jeff Hafley, co-defensive coordinator at Ohio State, I said, okay, Ohio State, really good defense, but they could have done better. they could have done better. But then the more and more I thought about it, the more and more I looked into it, I realized Hafley might not be that bad. Hafley might be just what the doctor ordered for this Boston College program, which is why we are giving him a B. We are giving this hire a B at Boston College, bringing in a coach that's young, bringing in a coach that's passionate, bringing in a coach that has a lot of energy, which is something that Boston College desperately needs. He's bringing in a coach and an offensive coordinator that has tons of NFL experience. So you're going to have a head coach that's defensive-minded. Boston College in the past has always had pretty solid defenses anyways. You've got an offensive coordinator that's clearly offensive-minded and has coached some great quarterbacks within the NFL. That's huge for both ends. And that's exactly what the Eagles needed. This might be enough for in a few years for Boston College to get over the hump, to finally win 8 games, maybe win 9. I know that might be pushing it a little bit. But this season, Boston College can absolutely contend for a bowl game. And that's what Eagle fans need to hope for. Get to a bowl game, hopefully win it, only winning 1 in the 7 years that Steve Addazio was there. Get there and then build on that. I wholeheartedly believe Jeff Hafley can build on this. And if he does, he could be with the Eagles for a very, very long time. Just what the doctor ordered for Boston College in the ACC. Someone trying to get in there and dethrone the Clemson Tigers. So guys, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert. Make sure to like this video and check out everything we have for you down in the description below. We have one more coaching hire left, then a recap, and then a brand new series coming your way that, of course, you do not want to miss. So stay tuned for all of that. And as always, thank you for watching. Please continue to like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you next time on the Gridiron Expert.